G'day Rebels, welcome back to the channel where we cut through the political BS. Today, we're talking about a headline that's got me fired up. Albanese changes the tune on immigration and ISIS brides as one nation effect hits. Yeah, you heard that right. The ultra-left-leaning ABC is admitting that Pauline Hanson's One Nation Party is forcing Prime Minister Anthony Albanese to flip-flop on hot-button issues like immigration and bringing back the ISIS brides. When I first saw it, I thought, wait, hang on, the ABC is actually giving Pauline a nod? It's almost positive on her influence, but of course, they blow smoke up and Albo's bum and call him pragmatic and crediting his battle-hardened radar. Classic ABC, and praise the Labor guy while subtly acknowledging the Hanson wave. Let's be real though, this does signal something bigger. Is Pauline changing the political landscape again, like she did before they threw her in jail? Are the majors scrambling to adopt her policies? And most importantly, when even the ABC starts fence-sitting, is Pauline winning? Comment below. So what's the deal with this ABC article? Well, Albanese, who's been a long time Mr. Compassionate on refugees and migration, is suddenly toughening up. No more soft touch on these ISIS brides. You know, the women who went over to the caliphate and now want back in. So why the U-turn? Well, the article straight up says the one nation effect. So Pauline Hanson's party is surging in the polls and capitalising on the anti-immigration sentiment amid our violence and housing crisis. Recent polls is putting One Nation at 26% of the primary vote, eclipsing the coalition at 19 and nipping at the heels of Labor, who's about 30 or 32. Voters are fed up with the migrant numbers. Net overseas migration was 290,000 last year, and that doesn't include student visas which converted to residential visas. And Hanson's the only one making any noise about slashing it without all the fluff. The ABC admits her net favourability is now above Albo's at 30% of millennials viewing her positively. Millennials, the same crowd that used to call her a relic not very long ago. But here's the truth. Pauline has always had detailed policies, but she speaks them in plain English. She wants to cut migration, and that's been resonating because the majors have just completely bungled it. The article claims the Libs have swung hard right, leaving the centre open, proving the ABC knows that the Labor is hard left. Yet they frame Albo as the savvy operator, seeing it coming. Give me a break. He's in panic mode, not pragmatic mode. And it isn't a one-off. The ABC, out of all the media outlets, is starting to hedge on One Nation. Take their piece. More people say they'll vote One Nation. What are they voting for? It details Hanson's immigration platform. Cap visas at $130,000 a year, 8-year wait for citizenship and welfare. Block migration from extremist nations. She's campaigned on those platforms since at least 2016. ABC's tone? It's become neutral, well-ish, questioning the appeal but noting 34% of voters prefer One Nation's migration approach over everybody else's. This is ABC fence-sitting at its finest. They're condemning the rhetoric but acknowledging the voter poll. Here's another one for you. One Nation are condemned for their Spot the Westerner video from around Australia Day. But the ABC slipped in that 35% of the population like One Nation's immigration policy and their caps that are well under the government's 185,000 cap. And we know about One Nation's rapid rise in the polls. ABC analysed how over half of One Nation voters link housing directly to immigration, calling it the fastest polling surge in modern Aussie politics. The ABC even hint at cultural preservation motives without fully endorsing or trashing it. Then, of course, there's the community divided as One Nation pivots to grassroots approach headline that the ABC put out. They noted that the party's surge post-election and tough multiculturalism stance, but then they highlight that the community splits without taking a hard side. Even in interviews like Pauline Hanson on Radio National in The Breakfast Spot, the ABC let her claim that migration and climate without interrupting her at all. So almost being a neutral platform. So when the ABC, notorious for their lefty bias, starts reporting One Nation's rise with this balanced veneer, you know the winds are shifting. Just look at the polls. One Nation's double-digit gains while Labor and the Libs plummet. Both majors are bleeding votes. Labor's primary is down. The Libs are too. The coalition's been floating values tests left and right for migrants, but now they're sort of echoing Hanson's burqa protest and her anti-multicultural stance, although a bit weakly. Albo's tune is changing, and it's straight out of the Hanson playbook. Parties are adopting her policy because they're done with open borders amid a cost of living hell. Immigration expert Abel Rizvi, I hope I said that right, predicts drops to 260,000 by 2027, but Hanson's pushing much harder, down to about 130. So the ABC's byline proves that even they see the One Nation effect hitting. With Hanson at anti-immigration rallies talking about preserving Australian culture, and the millennials are actually on board, and the majors are terrified. The Libs are hard right, Labor's hard left. Is that real? Is the centre a myth? The real game is One Nation getting everyone to dance to their tune. So where are we when the ultra-left writes headlines like this? I think we're at a tipping point. Pauline's not just relevant, she's dictating the agenda. Even if the ABC can't ignore her surge and starts fence-sitting, yeah, I think Pauline's winning. But will this reform Australian politics? Or will the daggers come out for Pauline again? Drop your thoughts on what you think is going to happen. So, a couple of questions. Has One Nation changed your vote? Where have you seen the majors copying her? So, hit the like if you're over the party BS. Subscribe for more of these takes on the Aussie politics. And share if you think Pauline's got the majors running scared. Let's keep this the centre of the narrative. I'm fully self-supported. So if you've watched this far, please consider buying me a coffee or joining my Patreon. But most of all, be safe out there, and thanks for watching.